You've probably heard plenty of claims from supporting prostate health to increasing testosterone or even lowering cancer risk. But what does science actually tell us? In today's video, we'll break down fact versus fiction regarding ejaculation frequency and its real effects on your body. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video, because this is information every man should know. Whether you're curious about daily habits, long stretches of abstinence, or what's optimal for your long-term health, stay tuned. You may be surprised by what we uncover. This is not exactly a new topic. Various scientific studies have explored the relationship between ejaculation frequency and risks for certain conditions, including prostate cancer. For example, one notable study from 2016 evaluated men who ejaculated 21 times per month compared to those who did so 7 times per month. Researchers found that men in the higher frequency group had a reduced risk of developing prostate cancer. Another study, published in 2017, looked at a larger sample, around 31,000 men, through retrospective data collected over several years. That study also found that men who ejaculated more than 21 times per month had a lower incidence of prostate cancer. But what might explain this link? And can this be viewed as a solid medical recommendation? We know that prostate cancer is the most common cancer among men, and it ranks as the second leading cause of cancer-related death in males. It's estimated that 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with this cancer during their lifetime. One possible explanation is that through ejaculation, the body eliminates toxins and free radicals that accumulate in semen. Additionally, the process may help promote cellular renewal and better hormonal balance. However, this should not be interpreted as a direct cause and effect relationship. Why not? All of the studies, including the 2 highlighted here, were retrospective in nature. In other words, researchers looked back at existing patient data. The participants were not followed in a prospective controlled study designed specifically for this purpose. As a result, these studies are subject to various potential biases, including recall bias and selection bias, which can impact their conclusions. Therefore, it would be inappropriate to recommend a specific number of monthly ejaculations as a guaranteed method to prevent prostate cancer. That said, the evidence does suggest that maintaining a healthy, consistent, and satisfying sex life may indeed support lowering risk factors for prostate cancer. Now, let's look at the opposite side. What about rare ejaculation or a low-activity sex life? Could infrequent sexual activity negatively impact your health? This is a very common question patients ask. We know that semen production is a continuous process. It involves the prostate, seminal vesicles, bulbourethral glands, and testicles. This production occurs whether or not a man is having regular sexual activity. Many patients wonder, if they don't ejaculate, what happens to all this semen? Here's the answer. If a man does not ejaculate, his body naturally manages the fluid. It may be expelled during urination. It may be released through spontaneous emissions triggered by physical exertion, such as straining during bowel movements. Or the body may simply reabsorb and recycle the seminal fluid. Another common question concerns situations where a person experiences arousal but is unable to release or expel semen, commonly known as blue balls. This refers to discomfort or a dull ache in the scrotal region that can arise after an extended period of high arousal where ejaculation doesn't occur. While this condition isn't harmful, it can certainly lead to noticeable discomfort and an unpleasant, sometimes painful, sensation. That said, whether you choose not to ejaculate, ejaculate later, or go days, weeks, or even months without sexual activity, this is not considered a risk factor for prostate cancer. Let's be clear, folks, this is a myth. There is no proven link between prostate cancer risk and how frequently a man engages in sexual activity. However, there are some important considerations worth mentioning, one being the issue of penile disuse and atrophy. Over time, a lack of regular penile oxygenation, which typically occurs during spontaneous erections or an active sex life, can lead to changes in collagen and other tissue alterations. When this happens, men may gradually lose the frequency of spontaneous erections or experience a noticeable decline in their sexual function. In addition, ejaculation-related issues can arise, including premature ejaculation, delayed ejaculation, or even the development of erectile dysfunction. These problems are often associated with a lack of sexual stimulation and regular sexual activity. So here's what I want to emphasize. Maintaining the quality of your sexual life is absolutely important for overall well-being. And yes, this can be supported and improved with proper medical guidance. If you're experiencing any of these issues, don't hesitate. Speak to your urologist. Addressing these concerns can lead to real and meaningful improvements in your quality of life. If you feel comfortable, share your own thoughts or experiences in the comments below. We read every comment, and you never know who you might help just by speaking up. And if you found this video helpful in any way, please consider giving it a like, subscribing to the channel, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss future content.